Yo, what's up? This is M Sweets with a video just showing off some of the nicest cars in GTA 5 to just have in your garage. And I'm just aiming for about 10 likes again. So if you could hit that like button in 3, 2, 1, it will mean a lot to me. So let's get started. So this car right here is called the HVY Insurgent. I hooked it up with a primary color of bright green with a pearlescent lime green under it. And the secondary color is actually bright purple. What I like about this vehicle is that it is bomb proof, but it does take about 5 RPG hits to blow it up. But the downside is that you can get killed through the windows because it is not fully bulletproof. And on to the next car. This car is called the Dubsta 6x6. I hooked it up with black underneath with a pearlescent bright orange, and the secondary is black. I hooked it up with some bulletproof off-road tires, and I also put a chrome top on it, which made it look really nice. And it also looks very nice with the spare tire on the hood. And just to let you guys know, this car does hold up to 6 people, so if you're rolling around with 6 people, they can all fit in this car. And now let's move on to the Brawler. This car is an awesome car. You can modify it with a lot of stuff. As you can see, I put the lights on the hood of the car. I put a bull bar in the front, and the colors I used for this was black underneath with a hot pink on top of it. And this car is actually a cool off-roading car to have because it has a lot of speed to it. I also put a chassis upgrade so that way the seats kind of look like racing seats, and the downside of this car, it only holds 2 people. So if you're rolling around with 4 friends, you can only have one friend in here with you. But it is a pretty cool car to have. I'm so glad I bought it. It was about 715,000. And this car right here is one of my most used cars. It is all bulletproof. It's really hard to get shot through the windows. So far only a shotgun can shoot me through here, and I hooked it up with like a Superman looking vibe to it with like, I forgot what type of blue I used, but I used some type of blue. I think it was Saxon blue with just a standard red on top, and the wheels that I used for it were actually lowrider wheels, so I put a custom lowrider wheels on here, and they're black flares. And onto this car, this one's called a Conquest. It kind of resembles the Corvette Stingray, but as you can tell, I also hooked this car up with lowrider wheels. I forgot what they were called, but if you scroll down, I'm pretty sure you'll be able to see them. And I hooked the roof up with carbon, and I also hooked the hood up with a carbon to it. And the colors that I used for these were wine red with a Torino red on top. The secondary that I used is, I believe, ice white, and it goes really well with the white wall tires. And to me, I believe that this car is like one of the fastest sports cars in the game. Other people may beg to differ, but that's just on me. I think it's the
And this
fastest
car right
sport.
here is called the Bugatti Carbonizer, and it turns out that this car looks really nice when you add a Saxon blue to it with a pearlescent Torino red. And also, you can also add a spoiler to it, which makes it like look a little better. But this car actually reminds me of the Stingray, the animal. Like, it looks pretty cool. And I also really like the interior because it's beige, makes it stand out a little more. And yeah, on to the Bugatti Zentorno. Well, before I painted this car again, it was black with a secondary color of lime green, but I just decided to make the primary color my crew color and keep the lime green. And with the wheels, I just decided to keep them stock because you can't really find these rims at the Los Santos Custom, so I just decided to keep them. And the back of this car looks really nice because it just stays black. Whatever color you make the car, it will always be black. And I just decided to put a racing wing on top just because it makes the car stand out more. And I also left the hood the same just because it gives it more of a vicious look. And now let's check out the Bugatti Osiris. With this car, I gave it like a mid-level spoiler, and the rim color is garnet red, and the primary color that I used for this car was a carbon black, and the secondary color that I used for this car was just like a primary red, and the burnout color on this car is red, so it makes this car look really nice. The steering on this car is phenomenal. It's freaking awesome. And like the back lights of this car makes it look pretty cool too. And yeah, also since this car is so flat to the ground, it gives it great traction and awesome control. I mean, when you're racing somebody, you most likely won't spin out, and it drifts very well. Now moving on to the Adder, also known as a Bugatti. The color that I got for this was actually a glitch a while back where I could mix uh like a color with chrome, and this is what I got, and I still happen to have this car. And the secondary color that I have on it is bright orange. It goes along with the rims. The rims that I got for these were under the lowriders category called flares, and I gave them custom tires so that way they're white wall. And the burnout on this is actually orange. It looks really nice, and yeah, this is just a really nice car. The acceleration on here isn't as fast as most supercars, but trust me, in a long distance race, this car will most likely win. This is a very fast car. And I like how the engine, you can see it through the back window, and how there's windows on top of the roof. It looks really cool, and man, it's an awesome car. And at last, the fastest car in Grand Theft Auto, the ProGen T20. The top speed I think is like 220 or like 230 something. I don't know exactly, but this is a fast car. The acceleration on this is crazy fast, and this is one of the few cars that I like with off-road tires. Well, one of the few supercars that I like with off-road tires. And I just like how the spoiler, when you start going above 40 miles per hour, it just automatically goes up. And this car is really cool, man. It is really expensive though. It's $2.2 million. So you have to have a lot of money to have this car. And yeah, this is a really expensive car. I love how the front looks. And the vented hood goes really nice with this car, and let's just take this on for a test drive, just see how it goes. Well, as you can see, this car has awesome drifting control. It doesn't really spin out, and this car is really good, man. I just suggest you save some money. And thanks for watching my video. If you guys are wondering how I got invisible arms, I will be uploading another video. Like and subscribe.